Welcome to Mo's Fight Picks. Let us begin. What's up, Fight Fam? It's been far too long. We've survived without the UFC for several weeks now, but this Saturday we are back in business with a completely stacked UFC 249 card. We wanted to happen sooner. We wanted it to happen with Khabib versus Tony, but it's happening with Tony versus Justin Gaethje, and I can't complain because it is a stacked card. We have Henry Cejudo versus Dominic Cruz, legend. We have Ngannou versus Rosenstrike, a heavyweight duel. And then on the prelim card, we have Anthony Pettis versus Cowboy Cerrone on the prelim. I mean, this card is truly stacked, and I cannot remember a time where, a card was this stacked. So let's enjoy. But you didn't come here for me to tell you how stacked the card was. You came here for Mo's Fight Picks, and I have two for you. First fight pick is Henry Cejudo at -240 against Dominic Cruz. Do I even have to explain this? It's a no-brainer. Henry Cejudo is a dog that cannot be stopped. He's on a tear of all tears. He had a comeback win against Marlon Moraes in a fight that I knew he was going to lose. But somehow he does what winners do, and he found a way to win. He adapted and beat Marlon. Before that, he beat a cheating TJ Dillashaw, one of the greatest bantamweight champs of all time, in my opinion. And before that, he beat one of the greatest pound-for-pound fighters the UFC's ever seen, Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson. Oh, and by the way, he has a gold medal in wrestling. Yeah, I think it's a no-brainer. Dominic Cruz, meanwhile, he was a great champ, but he hasn't fought in the octagon for 4 years. Do I have to even go into this any further? I think not. Henry Cejudo all the way. You think you can call fights? You want free money to play around with to call fights with a chance to win a lot more and play MMA fantasy? Well, DraftKings has a promotion through the app Kickback. Download the app Kickback, enter Mo Fight Picks, my homie King hooked me up, and then sign up on DraftKings through the app Kickback. And you will receive $20 free, and you'll also be able to enter the MMA fantasy for free. There is no basketball fantasy. There is no football fantasy. There is no baseball fantasy. Sports are canceled except for fighting. So get in on the action and have some fun with it. And get some free money too. My homie King works for Kickback and was able to get this exclusively for our listeners. So I'm going to put in all the links below, and you enter that, and you have fun. Let me know what your picks are in the comment section below. Would love to see them. Next up, we have Anthony Pettis at -140 against Donald Cowboy Cerrone. Anthony Pettis is an elite striker. His biggest kryptonite, though, it's no secret, are pressure fighters like Nate Diaz, like Tony Ferguson, like Rafael Dos Anjos. But when he's fighting strikers, he always shows up, and that's what Donald Cerrone is. Not only is Donald Cerrone just a striker, Anthony Pettis is bread and butter, but he is coming off a few losses, and a few bad losses. He was stopped by Justin Gaethje. He was stopped by Tony Ferguson. He was stopped by Conor McGregor. I mean, this man is fighting too often. He's taking too much damage. He's old, and from a fight standpoint, from a number of fight standpoint, and he's slowing down. It's very noticeable. I saw it in the fight with Conor. And this fight, in my opinion, will not go the distance. Anthony Pettis will end Cerrone. But for a safe bet, I would just get Anthony Pettis at -140. Oh, by the way, if you guys aren't convinced, Anthony Pettis has already beat Donald Cerrone. And that was when Cerrone, in my opinion, was in more of his prime than he is now. He's in the twilight of his career. That's my opinion. Love the guy. Hate Stephen A. Smith for talking all that BS against him earlier. Trust me. But that doesn't mean that I won't bet against him. I have to bet Anthony Pettis. To me, that's a no-brainer, and that's what I'm going with. For your fix on fight picks, you best subscribe. and hit that like button.